Yo, what's good, guys? We are in Japan with my boy, Bryan. If you guys aren't familiar, I mean, you guys probably know who this guy is. He's the GOAT of music video editing on YouTube. He switched to, do you want to explain what you do now?
Yeah, so I feel like the way I describe myself now is just a creator. So if you guys don't know my story, kind of started, honestly, just documenting my life, recording like myself riding bikes, playing video games, editing like Call of Duty stuff, and then eventually found music videos. Where you probably know me from, if you do know me, is from music video tutorials. So I like grew my YouTube channel to 170,000 plus subscribers all through music video tutorials. And I've recently transitioned into just being a little bit more of a holistic creator, just helping people kind of do what I did over the last 5 years. And I have just continued to document my life and just talk about what I'm passionate about.
In this video, we're going to cover just going back and forth an open-ended conversation of how editing changed both of our lives. There's going to be so much value in this video. So make sure you guys stay to the very end. We're going to be dropping some absolute sauce, especially from the guy Bryan here. I learned almost everything I know from this guy. So let's hop right into it. So the first question that I kind of want to cover that I think a lot of people struggle with is how do we go from editing for free to getting paid? Let's start with Bryan here.
Dang, it's always hard to pinpoint like the exact part of my journey because like I've been doing it since I was like 12, like just recording videos, editing. Honestly, probably a little bit before that. But music video specifically,
It's like we both have different paths when it comes to getting paid from editing, which is so cool.
absolutely. I for the longest time, like, you know, made $5-10 editing here and there. When I was like 13, I was like, for those of you guys that know, like trick shot Call of Duty editing and stuff. And they had like these teams where you trick shot, and I'd always join as like the video editor. And from time to time, someone would toss me like $5-10. So that was like the first time I got like paid. Now, if we're talking like actually making like a decent amount of money where you could probably like actually do something with, I really just like went to like studio sessions with recording engineers where they would like record artists, and then after the artist would come out of the booth and be like done with the song, I'd be like, dude, this is super fire, we should record a music video to this like right now. And my first ever music video was actually a paid music video. So
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, I just like kind of got myself in the room by offering the engineer and the artist like free photos and free just like BTS video.
Yeah.
And then I'd always just be like, we should film a music video to this song, it's really good. And that
Upselling.
yeah, pretty much
Putting yourself in the room by doing stuff for free and then upselling other stuff.
yeah, just being a genuine person. Like I think one of the biggest skills, especially if you're in person, like videography and stuff, is just not being a weirdo.
Yeah.
I think just like obviously being good at what you're doing, but then like providing some kind of value and just being able to communicate in a really just genuine way.
Yeah.
I would always just like give them photos and videos as they were going. I'd literally like airdrop it to them like while we were in the studio. And then I would just be like, dude, like this one was good. We should record a video to this right now. And then I'd always just do studio session videos. And I think that was like the first time I made money. I remember the first paid music video I tried to charge $250. He talked me to $240, which is crazy. But I got paid $240. I vividly remember this. I got paid $240 for my first ever music video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did like my first 5 for free. If you guys aren't familiar with my journey, I started off like I like obviously did like the Call of Duty videos, the YouTube videos, the Casey Neistat vlogs. Like I like rode the YouTube bandwagon, like Rice Gum videos, Leafy videos, commentary videos, all of that. And then when I was in high school, I got into filming music videos, and through filming music videos, shout out Young Tada, he's the one who got me into that from watching his vlogs and stuff. But yeah, I did the first 5 for free, grinded them out, didn't know how to sell myself, didn't even know how to ask for money. And then I just used those like in the portfolio that I grew, and then sent them to like random artists using hashtags. Probably wasn't the best way to do it. I would like see what artists followed other artists in my city and just DM. And I think I was getting paid like $100 for a music. Just keep in mind, it's Canadian as well. It's not USD. I was getting paid like $100 for a music video, $200. And then honestly, I feel like the best way to grow and to get paid more money for doing music videos is kind of like the grind I did in LA for a bit. So it's like shooting music videos for underground artists who have like kind of a buzz for free. Try and get paid if you can, but most of the time they're not going to pay you because they can find somebody else to do it for free. Do an amazing job on those videos. Obviously you have to have the skill to do so. And then a lot of the smaller underground artists are followed by big artists or have friends who are big artists. So like I did a candy paint video in 2020 for free, and then Bad Baby saw it, and I got a $10,000 USD music video budget from that. So that's a good way to go about doing it, especially when you're building your portfolio. But then eventually I'd like recommend switching over to like only getting paid for videos and only doing free videos if it's like a really good opportunity. So I think that kind of describes my version, and then or my journey, I guess. And then I think both of us, like at a certain point, we realized like we don't want to do service work forever and chase around these artists. I'm sure you guys can relate if you're an editor or you're a director. Like chasing around artists is just like it's an endless loop, and you're never really gonna get rich doing that. You're just like you're not gonna make good money. So like Bryan was selling editing packs. He got me into selling editing packs, and then you guys obviously subscribe to Eve's channel. I'm sure you're subscribed to Bryan. We make tutorials, and that's another good way to make money as an editor or as a creative, is just selling assets, selling packs, stuff other creators can use that'll make their editing easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, that the reason I made the shift to creating content for myself and selling something instead of doing service work was just because I've always been a kind of entrepreneurial person, but I also like super creative. Like I love creating videos. It's probably my favorite thing on like earth, actually. But I just realized when I was creating videos for other people, it was like a non-scalable game, meaning I couldn't like buy myself time in the future. It was like I go film, edit, and send them the video, and then I get paid for that video. But then I have to do it all over again. And one thing for me is like, I'm someone that like operates a lot from like motivation. So I'll go through periods of like, I want to like work. And there's periods where I'm like, I don't want to work at all.
Yeah.
And when you're doing client work, that doesn't really work too well if you want to make a really stable amount of income. And then I also just realized like, I think you can have a bigger impact creating for yourself versus growing someone else's brand or business.
Yeah.
So those are probably the two main reasons I kind of shifted over.
Yeah, like all this time that like I would invest into other people's music videos, that did help me grow and do bigger music videos. That's like what I was super passionate about. I wanted to work with all these big underground artists and like do all these videos. I thought it was so cool. And then when I reached that point, and then when I started to like, I wanted to make money so I could live on my own and afford a lifestyle and like do this as a full-time job, you realize it's not really sustainable. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's people that have it in them to do it, and there's people that do it for sure.
It's like, it's so hard though.
It is
and
challenging.
Like, it is like, it's so draining too at the same time. Whereas like, I feel like doing that, like I still shoot music videos to this day. You guys see all the like on-set videos on my channel. I've been doing those a lot more. But also like just selling a digital product as well. Like Bryan has Creator Pass if any of you guys are interested in learning how to do so. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Anything else you want to add maybe to the, how to go from, like what was the question again? I think it was
like just how to go from free to paid stuff.
Editing for free to getting paid real money.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you were to sum it up, it's like you kind of just got to put yourself out there. I think especially from when we started, it's shifted a little bit. I think even if you want to get client work, I still think it's in your best interest to create content for yourself, even if you don't want to.
You were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's just like a requirement now. I think personal branding, regardless if you want to do something for yourself full-time or work for other people full-time, is just a prerequisite to having real impact and actually get good clients. A great example is I'm going out to Bali after we finish up here in Japan. We're in Japan, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah. We're in a park right now in Tokyo. Beautiful. Maybe I'll get some B-roll after and while I'm talking right now.
But I basically posted on my story, and I was like, hey, I want to fly out a videographer and editor for when I'm out in Bali. And I realized I was looking at a lot of people's portfolios, like Instagram pages, and people that didn't have themselves on it, I was just not even giving them the
their work, or like
I was just even them, like even if they were really great, if they didn't show themselves, I wasn't really willing to give them the same opportunity as someone that was like maybe slightly worse, but like showed themselves and showed that they weren't a weirdo and they were like capable of communicating, because that's a huge percentage of like the creative journey, is like being able to communicate. Like if I'm taking someone out to Bali, like I want to be able to have a conversation with you. Like I don't care if you're just super good, if you're a weirdo, like, so, you know, building a personal brand even for client work is super, super important.
Yeah, that's definitely some great advice for sure. Next question here. How do you actually build a brand as an editor? We're talking like style, aesthetic, editing technique, and make yourself like stand apart from the crowd. What do you think?
That's tricky. I think early on,
You have to copy other people.
I think early on, especially just to get started, I like using the word model. So there's a difference between the word like model and copy. Like copy is like trying to one-to-one make it as close as possible.
Yeah.
Modeling is like drawing inspiration from, and you're probably gonna have very similar videos and styles to someone early on because you don't have your own style yet. You couldn't.
Yeah.
You just started. So early on, I would say, try to model and not copy as much as possible, even though probably it'll be borderline copying. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as like you're just learning and trying to progress. But it is a challenging thing, starting your style and stuff. But I think it just comes over time. You'll like copy something from someone and then you kind of like almost spider web it. And then it gets to a point where it's like, you're no longer copying because you have a thing from this guy and a thing from this guy and 3 things from this guy and 1 thing from this. And it's like, it's now you.
Yeah, I was just going to explain that. It's like, if you don't want to copy someone, which you're probably going to do in the beginning, like my music videos all looked like young Tada videos at the beginning. Like,
I definitely did that too.
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Just copying somebody I love style. It's so hard not to do because it's like such cool effects and you're blown away. But I feel like to really have yourself stand out and to create your own aesthetic, it's basically taking like 5% from here, 10% from here. It's like, I describe it in a lot of my videos when I'm editing, and it's like, let's say you want to do like a music video, you want to build like a style for a certain video, you're best to like stick to 3 effects and then maybe put grain on it with the cool color grade and kind of have that be your world. You want to build the world in your own aesthetic with colors, either like nowadays it's like if you want to go for like a film look, or if you want to go for a destroyed footage look, or like a VHS look, or like a clean look. And there's like so many like shooting styles for cinematography as well. It's just like, okay, if you want to do like super linear lines like Wes Anderson, if you want to go a little more like Dutch angle and kind of have like those creepier like wide angles like a Declan Kyle, like there's so many different ways that you can kind of build an aesthetic as an editor or a videographer. So I highly recommend looking into like either like films or like going on Shot Deck and trying to figure out different shooting or like editing methods when it comes to color and effects and everything, and just pick like 5% from everything and build your own world in that way. I think that's the best way that someone could build their own style. And then once you have your own style, your videos are gonna immediately stand out. And then if you apply this method to like what I was saying before, by like working with underground artists for free, and then their friends will see that, like you have your own, you stand out immediately. What do you think?
I think one thing I do that I just realized is like I'll save anything on Instagram that I like and put it in like a vision kind of like mood kind of inspo board. And then take screenshots, and I'll actually send it off to ChatGPT and kind of just like be like, hey, like it's not even like ask it really anything, just let it know that like, hey, this is something I like the aesthetic and the style of this. That way when I'm like trying to brainstorm video ideas, it kind of already knows the vibe and vision I'm going for.
It's really smart.
And it's really easy to just take 5 different styles and feed it to ChatGPT, and then it kind of make it more cohesive of like, why do you like this, why do you like this? And it's a really great way of getting to like, it's almost a great way to ideate and figure out what you actually like.
No, well said, honestly. And like on top of that as well, is it's like that's like the ultimate way of doing it. I never would have thought to do that. I forget sometimes that ChatGPT remembers everything, so
it's crazy.
That's phenomenal. What I usually do is I just save them on like, if I see something I really like, just save it on Instagram, or like I have like a separate YouTube account that I only watch music videos on and like cool short films. And when I'm looking for inspiration to take for like a new style or a new approach, I like go on there.
Because like the algorithm, like
exactly. I'm building my own
algorithm. It only like feeds you. That's actually really smart.
Yeah. This is like, we kind of like went from one topic to another, but that's totally fun. Hop into the next question. Ooh, this one's good. Okay. What makes a good editing pack or a plugin actually sell? So I think that's kind of like, I think we should focus more on what makes a good editing pack and plugin, because that could kind of entails like if it's good, it's going to sell. I strongly believe that. Actually, you can go first.
I actually don't know if having a good editing pack makes it sell.
Yeah, it's honestly, it just comes down to the marketing, I feel like.
I think, I mean, if we're going like if you want the full like digital product, like my spiel, I think marketing's number one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate but true. You could probably have a not so great product and sell it a bunch. And I think the thing that I've realized is most people that get help from me, or most of my students, actually don't have a product issue, because most of the time when you're a good skilled creative, you actually make something really great. Like, you're actually really good at like doing what you do. It's just a lot of creatives don't have the marketing business side. So I think first and foremost, to make a good product is just do something unique very well. Like, it solves a clear problem. You can tell when someone asks you, hey, what is that product?
Repeat that again, because I think that's so important that a lot of people don't understand. I feel like when I see a lot of like you guys, I'll check out your pages and stuff, especially on Instagram, like you're starting to sell editing packs, which is amazing. That's how all creatives and directors or editors should be doing that to get some more money.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is it needs to be solving a problem, and especially if that problem, more people have that problem. I feel like so many people are like selling LUTs and color grades and like grains and like fast transitions and stuff, but that problem has already been solved like 3 years ago, 10 years ago for LUTs. Like, you need to look for a new creative problem that's arising and like kind of jump on that, you know, like something that hasn't really been covered if you want it to sell well.
I think it needs to also be clear. Like, if someone can ask you, hey, what does your editing pack do? You should be able to say it in like one clear and concise sentence versus like, oh, it has overlays and sound effects and this and this and this. And it's like, that doesn't like speak to someone. If you're like, say you really like the grain, like a grain effect. It's a very simple example. But it's like, oh, I have, you know, film grain presets that you just drag on it. It's like, oh, okay, you either want that or you don't want that.
Yeah.
Versus like, if you say, oh, it has sound effects and overlays and transitions and preset files and project files, it's like,
it's overwhelming.
It's like, yeah, and most people probably only want one or two of those things, and it just so happens that like people don't like paying for things that they didn't want.
Yeah.
So that is huge, just like solving one problem and being very unique. And then I think a lot of it comes down to the marketing, which basically the marketing answer is creating content around it. I think nowadays it's so easy.
I think that's the most important part too. If you want an editing pack to sell, it's just like, once you feel like you've made enough content on the editing pack, times it by 10. Like,
probably.
Yeah, like, you really need to like, don't push it obviously in an annoying way, but like kind of make ads, make tutorials, talk about it in tutorials, talk about the problem it's solving. And I think that's kind of the best way to have it sell, but more on like, in the way of like a good editing pack. It's like we're saying, have it solve a simple problem with a simple or have it solve a problem really easily, and just have it be simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Like, have it for one very direct thing, and I promise you people are going to buy it if they have that problem.
Yeah, I was literally writing a presentation for our Creator Pass call before this, and I was basically breaking down like the 80-20 of digital products, like just simplified as much as possible. I'll spill all the sauce here. So if you don't come to the call, you can literally just get it. But it's literally products, marketing.
Yeah.
Those are the two most important things. Now, a lot of people focus on like things in between, and yes, those are important. But if you have a really great product and you let people know about it enough, you're going to make sales. Now, there are like conversion rates and like landing pages and all these little technical things in between. But if you make something really, really good that when I download a Tiny Taste pack, I'm like, wow, this is really good. I'm going to go tell a friend, hey, do you know any good LUTs? Yeah, dude, Tiny Tape's got the best LUTs. Like, check these out. That's huge because word of mouth is really, really powerful. And then to amplify that, because I don't think word of mouth in today's like social media climate is enough. Just having content that is basically word of mouth, letting people know about how great your LUTs are, how great whatever it is. So, you know, if you have something, you're already making sales or you're trying to get your first sale, focus on those two things. And I wouldn't really focus on the nitty gritty yet. Like, once you're at 5-10K a month, sure, start looking at the conversion rate and your landing page and all this little technical stuff. But before that, it's literally have a good thing and let people know about it.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, honestly. Make something high quality and then just put it out there to the world constantly. It's great advice. The question is, what would we do differently if we had to start over today? Not so much, let's kind of change that question a little bit. Let's kind of rephrase it in the way of like, if we had to start over today, what would we do? Not even, we could say differently in the way of like mistakes we've made that you guys can learn from in this video. I honestly wouldn't do anything differently, but there are some things I would avoid. So
sure. Yeah, I mean, if I was starting from zero today, I would probably take a very similar approach. I'd do it a lot quicker, knowing the things I know now, obviously. but I would literally just document what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
on YouTube and Instagram, like very, very consistently, probably post about every single day, because I would just have the hunger, because I hadn't made it yet, or hadn't made any money, don't have a consistent way of getting eyeballs or anything. I would literally just be documenting every single day on YouTube and Instagram. And then I'd build some kind of digital product solving or attached to that documentation of whatever I was interested in. And that's kind of what I did with YouTube. Yeah, I guess the thing I would do differently is probably just post more often. Even though I was really consistent over the years, anytime I look back and I'm like, how could my business have grown quicker? It's literally
output.
just more output most of the time. And then being a little intentional here and there. Some things I would definitely avoid would just be, having those 2 to 3 month periods where I just don't upload a video and like I'm literally just doing stupid shit like playing video games or traveling. Which I guess is like kind of one of the luxuries, but also one of the things that, like, if you really want to take it serious and have longevity, it is important to be consistent.
Yeah, well said. I think more so for the people who are like editors and music video directors who are watching this, like from my journey, it's been a very long journey, and I'm in a good spot right now where I make most of my money from the editing packs and the plugins and stuff, but I still make money and do really big music videos. But I'm allowed to be like, I'm allowed to be selective with who I want to work with. I get hit up all the time and I just deny a lot of people because I don't really feel it, which is, I'm super blessed to be able to do. But if I was starting over from the beginning, honestly, I would focus on like building with one artist. So for me, that was Gunner.
Yeah.
Right. Working and building with one artist, it's worked out amazing. Yeah. As he grows, I grow. Right. Whether you work with that artist for free if they don't have a lot of money, or whether like you get paid. I worked with Gunner at the very beginning for free, and then we got to a point where now he pays me for a video because he makes money off of music now. So I think that's very important, like having a friend that you can just call up and like, oh, let's shoot a music video for the song, and it lets you like try out new effects and stuff. Especially if like you're kind of going out looking for editors or looking for artists and stuff, because it's hard to find artists at the very beginning who are just like kind of cool to work with and like kind of cool to hang around with, because I didn't want to be in a room just like with people chain smoking weed all day and doing drugs and like just filming videos for that. And like
I walk into the studio, they set down a Glock with like an extended clip, and I'm just like,
No, exactly. It's just like finding like-minded people who you can just kind of like chill with and then just kind of build with that artist. And I would do the exact method of what I did, was like doing free videos for underground artists. Obviously try and get paid first, and if they ignore you or say no, which they probably will, offer to do it for free, and then the second one charge money for it, I would say. But then just covering like my journey on YouTube, just like Bryan said, like just like create a good product and just make a bunch of videos covering stuff. And like we were talking about this yesterday, it's like one of those things where it's like, you don't want to promote your product in every video. You want to give value. You want to create tutorials or create videos or whatever you're doing on other stuff. And then when you do have something to promote, like, it's like, hey, I have this thing, like people are gonna be like, oh, I learned so much from you. Like this thing is probably cool. And if it solves a problem like we were talking about earlier, it's definitely gonna sell. And anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think one thing you've done really great, or is one thing you've done really well actually, is bought yourself time. So this is like for a lot of the music video editors and directors out there that want to make it, is I think you've bought yourself time by building a personal brand and having a different stream of income in a similar field.
Yeah.
Because I notice a lot of people in the space, because it is a competitive space and it's a hard space to be in, they either, get too consumed and have to go get a big boy job eventually and then kind of fall off, or they're stuck like really in this grind where they don't have like a super stable job, but they're doing it so that they can continue doing the music videos, and it's like that's taking away time and energy from the music videos. But you've done a really, really great job at kind of building something parallel that's allowed you to, in the months where it's slow and maybe you don't have a new music video client or whatever, it's not a big deal because you have money coming in a different way and you have another creative outlet that you can have. So I value freedom a whole bunch. I think it's like my number one value in life. So I think building something for yourself, like we were saying, a personal brand that generates some kind of income into you, regardless of what you want to do, might be the path to the thing that you actually want. Even if it's not creating for yourself, I think it's one of those things that has allowed you to work with so many cool people.
Yeah,
it's got you in the room with a lot of really cool people too.
No, for sure. I think that's like what I did at the beginning is like I was working a job and grinding music videos at the same time. And then when I was making like just enough money off music videos, like when I was living at home with my parents, like just enough money where I could like afford my car insurance, afford my phone bill, and then like be able to like buy food every now and then. I mainly ate at home. I quit my job and I went like full in on music video.
Yeah.
And then it came to the point where I was like, okay, well, like if I'm not shooting, editing music videos, I'm just not doing anything in my day to day. And like I'm one of those people who has constantly be working towards something. So I started this channel, the tutorial channel, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm not shooting music videos or editing music videos, I'm just gonna make videos on how to edit music videos or talk about tips and tricks I have for shooting music videos. And this channel has grown to be bigger than the actual like brand itself for music video stuff, which is like crazy to me. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you're an editor and like you don't have any work, like figure out, like you were saying, like a side project that you can just grow that's like correlated with it. It's kind of like on the same topic in a way, but a little bit different. And honestly, both things will grow. Like as this channel grew, I was able to, not even just from this channel and just like from everything, it just kind of grows together. Like you said, get myself in the room with cooler people, get like cooler gigs and stuff, just from like awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else we got here? Any of these you want to cover? We did, how did you go from editing for free to getting paid? What was the turning point that made you take editing seriously? How do you actually build a brand? What makes a good editing pack or plugin? And 3 things beginner editors waste too much time on. How do you get artists or clients to actually care about editing? What's the hardest part of celebrate your advice? Just nailed it there.
You know, actually, with the question, I don't know if you're like, do you mind if the phone's there?
No.
Okay, yeah. So one of the things I think you described that we kind of like breezed over was this concept of like the tipping point. So a lot of creatives, myself included, work a job and then do something creatively that's like kind of making money, but maybe not enough money. The goal for you, if you're in that stage, is get to the point where your side hustle, your editing, your content creation, your music videos, whatever it is, whatever you love doing, makes just enough money to cover everything. Because that second that you can make that leap, and it's going to be a scary leap, you're going to be like, shit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the same thing I did last month, this month, but you got to take the leap. Once you can do that, I am blown away by how many people I've seen in my life take that leap. They got to this point where it like made sense for them to like go all in.
Yeah.
It's literally like a few months later, sometimes even the month after, literally just like completely different lifestyle. Like I've seen so many people, you know, go all in on digital products and start crushing it, or go all in music videos and like just have so much more opportunity, because you're basically by that when you're taking that leap, you're basically buying yourself like an extra 8 hours a day plus.
Yeah.
Like at least at a normal job, you work there 8 hours, and then you don't even think about waking up and getting ready. That takes an hour, and then the drive back home that takes an hour, and then the decompression that takes, you know, an hour. And then even then, if you're like trying to go work on your own thing, you're not as fresh as you would be because you just spent the last 10 hours doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So when you can make that leap, whatever that is, into music videos, into your own content, into digital products, whatever it is, try to take that leap, even if it's a little ambitious. I have not seen it not work for someone. Yeah. If they're really about it.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think taking risks is like the biggest thing I've ever done in my career. I'm sure for
absolutely.
you as well. Like I took a risk and I drove to LA from Toronto and booked an Airbnb for 3 months by myself and just shot music videos for free the entire time, just with money I had saved. And the Airbnb was like 10,000 Canadian for 3 months. I was working with all these artists. I wasn't getting paid at all. And then it ended up like the 3 months I was there, I got paid just enough money to cover the entire stay. So I broke even.
That's
when
amazing.
I had no plans of doing so. And it's like, it's just like one of those things where it's like, man, it's like, especially like if you're in the beginning phase and you quit that job and you go all in on this, you're going to have that burning passion inside of you that is just going to kind of carry the way if you give yourself that opportunity. For me, at least. I'm sure it was the same for you.
I mean, listen, like, I think you need to just bet on yourself in life.
Yeah.
It's no one else is rooting for you. Like your parents, whatever, they do want the best, but no one is rooting for you as much as you can.
Yeah.
And if you don't even root for yourself, you're never going to get there. You got to take the risk. You got to bet on yourself. It's just one of those things you got to do if you're in the entrepreneurial content creation kind of grind, like you just got to take the risks. I've done very similar things, like, you know, going out and staying in LA for a few months in the hills, literally like sleeping on an air mattress in a room with 4 other dudes at night, like literally like not making any money from that, but using it as a way to connect with people and create content and learn and grow. While it didn't make like financial sense, it was like one of those risks I just had to take. And it's funny enough, we're out here in Japan, and one of the guys I did that for is out here in Japan, and we still have a really great friendship 4 years later.
Yeah. So
it's like, it's one of those things that like might not make sense on paper. If you go and tell your mom or your dad, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, they're gonna be like, what's, like, that doesn't make sense. But you just need to take those risks in life.
And I have like probably the number one most important part that will, like, when you're in this stage and you're taking a risk that will help you so much, I'm sure you'll agree with, is surrounding yourself with other people who are working towards the same goals as you. Like, if you can't be with them in person, like being in an editing Discord server, just in the chat all day, or not in the chat, in the voice chat.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met, in the voice chat all day, just editing. Showing people stuff that you're working on, getting feedback. Like, I learned how to do so many effects, like in his Discord, people are editing in my Discord. It's just like, when you surround yourself with other people who are grinding, like especially music videos, or like, you could say digital products, or just anything in general, like having a community like that you can get constant feedback from, and like, it's like, shit, it's 2 a.m. right now, and this guy's editing his video, and I'm scrolling on TikTok, like, let me hop in and start editing my video. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, seeing other people work hard, it's going to make you want to work harder. And then them seeing you work hard, it's just like, it's a never-ending cycle of just like a great group of people just like all working towards something.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think most people that have made it this far in the video, you're searching for a life that is not normal. And by default, when you tell people your goals and stuff, they're not going to give you the proper guidance unless they've done it or are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think one of the biggest things you should take away is only really take advice from people that are doing similar things or have done same things as that you want to do. Because, for example, when I dropped out of school, all my friends and family were telling me not to drop out of school. But much love to all of them, respectfully just weren't doing what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah.
So it's like, how am I going to take life decision advice like that from someone that isn't at the end goal? And instead, I found people on YouTube and people online in communities and stuff that were doing more similar things. And it's funny, they were saying the exact opposite of a lot of friends and family members. And it's hard because, you know, those people are near and dear in your life. But if you're really trying to take the risk and do something not normal or extraordinary, you kind of have to go against the grain. And there's going to be those battles where people are like, that's not a good idea. But you have to know deep down that you're doing it not only for yourself, but also for those people in the long run. And you have to be willing to sit in that level of uncomfortability for a little bit.
Yeah, I think another great piece of advice as well is like, find comfort in the uncomfortable moments. Like if you can be the most comfortable being uncomfortable, I think that's something I learned early on when I like went to LA for 3 months by myself, didn't know anybody, was just grinding music videos. Like, I was out till 4 a.m. and like with all these artists with like guns and drugs, and just like, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but just like the guy in the camera in the corner filming, like doing performances, holding the speaker, holding the light, holding the camera, like that was super uncomfortable. But like, because of that, like putting myself in an uncomfortable situation, or just like doing crazy stuff, like going to LA like that, like that's really where you're going to see the benefits and you're going to see the most growth, because 99% of people aren't going to take those risks that you will take, and you will see more growth in them just because of that.
Yeah, you don't see that stuff, but you know, a lot of you guys want a life similar to Jacob or to me, but like, you're just not willing to do the things that we did. And it's, you know, it's crazy because we probably haven't documented a lot of the uncomfortable, crazy things.
Yeah.
But I just know your story and you know mine, and there's just so many of those risks that didn't make sense, or those uncomfortable things that we did, and you just need to be doing more of those. I think every single time I did those things, I just grew more and more and more. And yeah, I think it's just take the risk.
Another thing I want to cover is how do you stay inspired when editing gets repetitive? I know it's kind of like a super like surface level conversation, and we were getting a little bit deep there, but I think we can expand on this. Like, we can talk a little bit about that and then go into like burnout, because I think burnout is super important. I'll just first off go ahead and say, like, everybody gets burnt out. Like, if your editing's getting repetitive, especially like if you're grinding music videos, or like if someone else is like coming from Bryan's community, or like you're not familiar with the channel, it's your first time seeing this, and like you edit like other content, or you just do something very repetitive like editing. I think a good way is just to kind of take a step back from it. And I think something that's helped me a lot that's really weird is just like making it challenging for yourself. So like editing an entire video without this, or like without that. Have you ever heard of that before? Like putting limitations.
Oh yes,
putting limitations.
That's
on
from
stuff
that book
do.
you got me.
Oh yeah.
The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Yeah, like it kind of switches it up a little bit and makes your brain like work a little bit harder to be like, okay, well, I can't do this that I rely on so much. What would be a good example of that? Just something to kind of break the normality of the repetitiveness, especially when it comes to like editing music videos or something. Other than that, I think like I said, like having a second YouTube account with your own algorithm where you only watch like music videos or edits or like inspiring stuff. You could just scroll on there and just like instantly get like what's the word I'm looking for, like inspired by other people's content. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a difference between like true burnout and then kind of just like doing a lot and like being like needing a break. I think true burnout comes from misalignment in your life. You're not actually enjoying the thing you're doing. Say you're grinding music videos, but maybe you don't even like doing music videos anymore. But I think there's a difference of like going through a stint of like really working hard, and for that, just to get new inspiration, I think, you know, it's less actually doing things, but I think it's more so like take time to do stuff you love. Like for me, go to the gym, go on walks, travel, eat some good food, hang out with some friends and family. Like that stuff a lot of the times just like taking a day or two to just pull yourself away from the craft and then just look at it with a fresh set of eyes can do a lot. But I think true burnout only comes like when you're dreading something. When you're truly dreading something is when you're just not aligned on your job and what you're currently doing. Because I've never really faced like true burnout when I've been building for myself, but I've definitely faced true burnout when I was like editing. Like, dude, I've done like client work where I did like editing a hotbox challenge video, and it was like fucking like I got paid like $30 for it, and it was like I was so burnt out, dude. I was like, this is awful. Like, what am I even doing with my life right now? So I think if you're doing stuff like that where you're just genuinely don't enjoy the thing, that's where burnout happens. I think if you've been grinding really hard, you might just need a little bit of a refresher, a break.
I think that's super important.
Yeah, like draw some inspiration from, you know, your algorithm, go outside, live life a little bit, and then come back to it.
Yeah, especially like editors, like go touch grass. Unfortunately, like go for a walk in the park. I feel like early on I got so caught up in just like working at the computer, where like my schedule was like wake up at 2 p.m., have 2 bowls of ramen, like just like Mr. Noodles, and then sit in front of my computer in a dark room all day. And I was like, why do I feel burnt out right now? Why do I feel depressed? Like, why do I like, why am I not satisfied? It's because like you're not in the sun, you're not soaking up the vitamin D. Vitamin D is the sun, right?
Yeah.
You're not outside in nature. You're not smelling the flowers. You're not like enjoying life. Like, I feel like just kind of stepping outside in nature and going for walks and just like doing stuff with friends and family, like you were saying, is super important, especially for editors, because like you can get so like lost or like caught up in your head or like burnt out just sitting in a room all day on a computer. So that's my advice when it comes to that.
Yeah, listen, and if that's you, where you can lock in and stuff, you got the trait to win.
Yeah.
Like if you can do that, you got the trait to win. You just need to zoom out and build your life in a way that's sustainable and actually enjoyable.
Yeah,
because that's not sustainable and enjoyable.
Yeah.
I've done that. I know you've done that.
Yeah.
But like really like zoom out and be like, okay, where do I want to be in 5 to 10 years? And like what do I do on a day-to-day basis? Like one of the, you know, this is more life advice, but I genuinely think writing down your dream day, this is called the dream day exercise, writing down your dream day from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed on a piece of paper and then just figuring out how to live that. And a lot of times it's simple stuff that like you realize, you write it down on a piece of paper and you're like, wait, I can do that tomorrow. I'm just choosing not to do that. Like I'm sabotaging my own life. Like sometimes it's like eating, like I did it fairly recently, and it was like eat a full breakfast with eggs in the morning. And I was just like, I had the I had the capability
in the fridge.
Yeah, like I had the ability to do that. I was like, and I woke up the next morning and I did it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like, it takes the awareness of like, okay, what do I actually want to do to live a sustainable life? And just like take that zoom out to look at it.
Yeah, that's great advice. All right, last question, because I know I feel like we have to talk about this.
Okay.
I want to talk about AI a little bit
Mm.
in the editing industry and how that looks like for editors, creatives. I know you're not so much into the editing thing anymore, but I know
Sure.
you know a lot about it.
Absolutely.
And you're still interested. So obviously we all know AI is a massive thing in video editing right now. There's companies like Sora, there's the new Google VO3. Personally, I use it as a tool to create B-roll for my videos. A lot of my videos recently, I've just been using AI to like either add elements and expand on it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But something that I'm worried about, and that I'm sure other people are worried about, is like if you sell digital products and you're solving a problem, AI could just solve that problem instantly, or AI could edit your entire music video or do all these VFX and everything. So what is your take on
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same way that like when digital cameras came out, like people were worried about like, they're like, oh, there's no longer the need for
Yeah.
film cameras and stuff. I think it's very similar. Like there is always going to be innovation, and if you're at the front of innovation, you're never going to not have opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think if you're like worried about AI but not learning anything about it and not utilizing it at all, yeah, you might actually be like left in the dust.
Yeah.
But if you're at least educating yourself with it, like playing around with it, I literally, like, listen, I probably spend 30 minutes to an hour every single day using some kind of AI tool. I've done that for the last 6 months, and I'm just so far ahead of 99.9% of the population using AI.
Yeah.
I'm good. AI is not taking over whatever. But I also think the way to insulate yourself is the personal brand. No matter how good it gets, like if someone likes you for you and likes listening to what you have to say and your perspective and your journey and your aesthetic and all this stuff, they're not going to choose a bot over you.
Yeah.
Like it's the same way, like there's like when you go to the farmer's market and it's like all the local shops, like those shops are still surviving, even though it makes more sense to go to Walmart and get the banana for 25 cents versus them for $1. But it's like homegrown, it's from a person, you're supporting someone. Same thing with content. I think the more authentic and real and personable you can be, the more insulated you are from AI. Now, I think there are effects and stuff that are going to be just completely replaced by AI. Absolutely. So don't be reliant on like, if your way to make money is like doing one specific effect and one specific effect only, start learning other stuff because you will be replaced. But knowing how to use the tools at, you know, the forefront, like being hip to all the AI stuff, knowing how to do B-roll, knowing how to create stuff with it, like you're always going to have a position because there's going to be people that don't take that initiative, and you're just going to be so far ahead of them.
I feel like I use AI so much, especially when like planning out music videos and coming up with like themes and styles. Like I'll be like, this song makes me feel this way. Give me 50 different styles. I'll go through like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. I'll put those words into Pinterest, put aesthetic beside it. Boom, you get all this stuff. Like I feel like AI has helped my workflow so much, and I feel like right now it's at a point where it's only benefiting and it isn't really taking over anything, like especially just specifically in the like music video editing and directing scene. Like it's not like, I mean, like if you do commercials, like the Coca-Cola AI commercial, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like free for them to make, and like obviously if you're in that work, I feel like that's gonna kind of suck. But I feel like as of right now for music videos and like artists and stuff, it's kind of hard to make an entire like music video with AI. I mean, you can edit it with AI, but like that's only benefiting the editor. They're still getting paid the exact same amount. They're just using an AI tool.
Well, it's just, again, like you said, it's just a tool. Like if you're a music video editor and you use a camera to make a music video nowadays, and everything just goes to AI, guess what? Someone's going to have to use that AI tool to make a music video. Chances are an artist isn't going to be good enough to make a really banging song and also do their music video at scale.
Yeah.
Like the people that are really at the top, it's still a tool. It's just a different tool. So say we don't use footage anymore, which I think we will, but like let's just use a hypothetical, like AI generates all video content. It's like you're still going to have to use AI in the sense of the way you use the camera.
Yeah.
Because what people get wrong about AI is, hey, script me a video about blank. It's like, no, what you do with AI, this is how I use it, is I brain dump a voice note for 10 minutes and say, hey, help me write an outline based on what I just told you for last. So it's all my thoughts still. It's still all my words. It's just a really great way of synthesizing information in a condensed way. And what would have taken me, 10 hours to script a video can take me 30 minutes now.
No, that's really smart.
But not telling it to just do something for you with no input at all, because we've all seen the content on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff that you can tell ChatGPT wrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's literally, it might be a person sitting there, but like those words are not theirs.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. So yeah, I think in the next 5 years, things are going to change a lot. I think the best thing you can do is just kind of use it, learn how to use it, learn how to adjust, learn how to work with it, and learn new skills, obviously, keep growing as an editor or a director. Yeah, how are you feeling about this? You think it's good to wrap?
Yeah, this has been amazing.
All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out Bryan and Creator Pass down below. Go check out my website and the editing packs down below. If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a like. Peace.
Peace. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.